Hello, everyone, and welcome to not just an important session, but a session, an issue that is very close to all our hearts, us nature lovers. In a country like India, where we have so many strict laws about protection of nature, in spite of that, every day we see the nature around us getting destroyed, it dwindling. And that's when ethics come in. So, what are ethics? Ethics are not laws and policies. Ethics are moral, personal principles that sort of influence the way we make decisions or how we act. To put it in simple words, ethics are principles that are not only good for individuals, but they're good for the society in general, and in our, especially our case, even for the nature and environment around us. We all know that there are advantages of tourism. It helps the economy, it brings livelihood and jobs to people who are involved with it. It creates awareness and education about these places, animals to the visitors. But if tourism, especially nature tourism, is not managed properly, it can have a lot of negative impact. Let's look at a few disadvantages of tourism. Land use. Once a place or a creature, sometimes, like over here in the photograph, you can see a tiger park, it becomes famous and there's a big demand for tourists to come there. What happens? Slowly, you see all kinds of structures being built up, hotels, resorts, other structures that cater to tourism. The entire landscape sometimes changes. Places that used to be open fields or forests or scrublands become a concrete jungle. When tourists come, along with them comes garbage. Tons of garbage sometimes. Resources of the area. So a tourist area, which is hosting so many different people, resources like even water experience huge amount of pressure. A local person may use only so many liters of water a day, 10, 12, 14. But imagine how much water gets used in hotels. Not only that, it even affects the local people, their privacy. Local people go about their business, and all of a sudden, there are all these outsiders around them all the time, right? The lifestyle of local people changes, their culture gets influenced. And our very action of going into forests or on nature walks or nature excursions, if not done mindfully, can create a lot of disturbance to the animals. Now, here, like I said, there is just one example of a tiger park that Rohan has drawn. But a great example also of tourism having really poorly impacted a place, badly impacted a place, is the Pangongso Lake. Far north in a remote corner of Ladakh, the border with China, there's a beautiful lake called Pangongso. One Bollywood film that featured this place. The place became so famous and so many tourists started going there overnight that lots of resorts, hotels, restaurants popped up all around it. It created so much garbage. What do you think happened to all the animals? The marmots, the Tibetan wild asses, the tons of different birds who come to that lake for breeding or for summer migration. All for tourism. Is it really worth it? When you see all this around you and you wonder, what can I do? You feel really small. Someone just so little operating in this massive arena of tourism, there are things that we can do. There are always things we can do, big things and small things. I'm not saying it always has to be protests and activism. However, that does become necessary sometimes. But there are many, many simple, easy things that you can do on your day to day nature activities, behavior while you're on a nature excursion. Once again, I have used here a photograph of green humor where it shows bad behavior during tiger tourism, but really it can apply to any creature. Screaming, shouting, competing, pushing each other because you want a better look or a better photograph of that creature. In the process, the very creature that you have come to enjoy is getting stressed. Nest photography, very, very important. Birds nesting or other creatures mating or going through their breeding season, it's a very, very important time in their life cycle. It is a time that makes sure that the species survives in the future generations. The least we can do is not disturb these breeding sites. Keep distance. There is a way to enjoy it. If you come upon something that's in a nest, be far away, be quiet. During your explorations, if you find a place and you find a nesting sites, stay away. Don't take people there. It's okay, you will see the bird somewhere else, right? Second one, chasing animals. Here we have a caricature where we've shown the great Indian bustard, which lives in open grasslands. There's no way for it to hide. And for that good look or for that better photograph, if you are rushing after it, right, and disturbing it, it's not fair. And all of these activities often happen for a Facebook or an Instagram post to get more number of likes. This is not responsible tourism. Playback. Do you know what playback is? Playback is when you play bird calls on your phone or on a speaker to attract birds. Birds that otherwise might be really shy or rare, and you want to see them, you want to show them to your guests, or guests want to take photographs. And you would think, so what's wrong in playing a call? By now, you know that birds make calls for a reason. They either call because there is a predator around and they are alarming the other creatures around them. They call because they're trying to establish a territory. They sing sometimes to attract a mate. If you are playing calls, birds will get attracted, but they are busy trying to chase away this rival male, which is making this loud song. They're trying to find who is this creature in their area, the new individual in their territory. It spends so much energy and it gets even stressed. And the same energy and time it could have spent feeding or singing or attracting a mate, right? This is how an activity like playback that otherwise seems harmless is actually affecting birds. Handling. Often people want to handle creatures, right, like snakes, to look brave or courageous and to show off, or to pick creatures up and put them in a place where you can get a better photograph and a better look. One, it's dangerous to you. Second, as you know, that something like this can cause a lot of stress to the animal. And in another case, if you remember, Harsha explained to you during his presentation on amphibians about how a disease that seems to have spread from human hands has wiped out large populations of frogs. Us People who are here doing this job because of the wildlife, we should be extremely mindful of actions like these. Sometimes, when you're with a group of guests, it's very, very tempting to show them that secret nest site or to pick up a frog or an insect or a snake to show them. It'll, you want to impress them. But really, if you think of the larger picture, it's really not worth it. You can deliver a fantastic nature experience without disturbing any wildlife. You may have fantastic nightlife around you. And it is not wrong to want to go explore the jungle in the night or want to see things, if the rules of that area allow, of course. But once you spot something, things like this flash photography or putting powerful lights right in the face of the creature you want to see. How do you feel when in a pitch dark room somebody suddenly puts a bright light in front of your eyes? It's blinding, it's very uncomfortable. And these creatures that are active in the night, they have far more sensitive eyesight because they operate in the dark. You could easily avoid this. And there is another way of doing this. If you want to see the creatures in the night, you need to have light. You have the option of either using a red filter, which is much less disturbing to the creatures, or you use the peripheral light of your torch, right? The brightest section of the light is in the center. You can position your torch in such a way that the duller light is, lighting up the creature. It's far less disturbing and you can still enjoy a good view. Distance. Please keep distance. Every creature has a safe distance at which it feels comfortable. You do not need to take selfies or go so close as to make the animal disturbed and make it run away. Plants, probably one of the most abused creatures in wildlife tourism. Plucking flowers to smell them or to put it in your hair. Really, you do not need to do this. Flowers, as you know, have a very, very important role to play. Flowers are not created by plants for human appreciation. Flowers are created because they need to get pollinated, fertilized, and to become fruits and seeds. Now that you understand this process, you know the value of every flower, especially wild plants. Feeding animals, something that has been a problem in many places around the world. Often it is done with good intentions. People feel that they are doing a good action, a good deed by feeding animals. They think they can make God happy like that. But eating kurkure, chips, drinking out of soft drink bottles, this is not the normal food of animals. It has been studied about how it has such negative impact on the health of the animals. Not only that, by feeding animals, you are making them getting used to humans. And then, when we have accidents and conflicts, where monkeys have bitten people or attacked them, it is our fault. There is a reason why this monkey has now the boldness, the courage to attack you to snatch the plastic bag out of your hands. We are responsible for spoiling their habits. Not only that, there have been extensive studies on troops of monkeys that have been fed by human beings outside temples, on highways. And it has been studied that it affects how their internal dynamics work, how those monkeys have stopped looking for natural food outside, how their group sizes have reduced, how their mortality rate, means death rate, has increased. All because of this. Also, especially on highways and busy traffic roads, creatures who are fed have started spending time on roads, and the number of road kills and accidents have increased. Just see a simple action which we think, oh, what's the big deal? I fed a monkey, can have such big negative impacts. Wildlife is best enjoyed when they are not influenced by us, either disturbed or fed or anything. It's best to watch their natural behavior. Picnics or the other products that we use during tourism. You know where this photograph is from. Harsha has explained to you very well about how you can create beautiful special experiences. Who doesn't like a lovely picnic in a beautiful spot with a lovely sunrise or a sunset? And it can be done with minimum impact on the environment around you. Using reusable material, using homemade food, not using packaging, are all these little things that add up to responsible tourism. Because we don't want to be a part of this. If we can't clean this up, at least we make sure that we don't add to this. We don't want to see this during our nature experiences, right? People. It's very important to be sensitive towards the people living in the local area where you're holding tourist activities. People very insensitively take photographs, while women are bathing or even anything else. There is a way to do this in a respectful manner. The photograph that you see here is one I had taken on one of my trips to Nepal. We were attending a local festival, and I saw this bunch of girls just having a great time by themselves. They were eating ice cream on a rather cold morning, and they were interacting with this dog that was sitting in front of them. It was just fun for me to watch, and I felt like taking a photograph to make a memory out of this. I walked up to them. I said hello. I told them my name, who I was. I asked them who they were. We shared a laugh. And then I asked them, is it okay? Can I take a photograph of you with this dog? And they readily agreed. They shared this moment of happiness with me. We giggled together when I took this photograph of them. You see, this itself can become an experience without making it awkward or uncomfortable for either one of us. Not them, nor me. Similarly, here's another example where a guest of mine wanted to take a photograph of this bunch of boys who were playing by the riverside. We walked up to them, we took their permission, she got their photograph, and here you can see them sharing a great happy moment where she's showing the photographs that she had clicked of them to them. And they loved seeing how they looked on camera. So you see, just little bit of respect and sensitivity can result in much more advantageous tourism. For us, ethics should not be just within the boundaries of work. These ethics could very well and easily become a part of our everyday life. It doesn't have to be something that we practice only when we are with guests. If there are activities around you going on, which result in hunting animals or collecting their body parts or collecting wild birds for pets in homes, you could talk to them. You could educate them. You can try to spread awareness. And it's not just about birds again. It could be any creature. Like over here, you can see again a wonderful cartoon by Green Humor about the olive ridley turtles. They come to the coast of India for breeding by the seashore. And if eggs are getting collected to eat, or they're getting stuck in fishing nets, or There's garbage being thrown into the same places where they swim and they breed. You know, these creatures get choked on these plastics, they can lose their lives. All these little things we can be aware of, we can discourage them, and if you can't do them, at least don't become a part of it. This is the least you can do. These are just big wildlife examples that I gave you about, the birds or the turtle. But literally, any decision of your life can be governed by ethics and sensitivity towards nature. Just think once before your action. Do I really need to do it? Is there a better way of doing this? Whether you're building a new house and the material you're using for it, or you're buying a new product, anything. Let me give you a really simple example. A packet of chips. Who doesn't like chips? Every time you buy a packet of chips and you eat it, you throw that plastic away. Is there a better way of doing it? Is there a way, maybe make them at home or buy it from a bakery that sells it loose or a shop that sells it loose? And then you can take your own container or your own little box and fill it in that and buy it? Yes, there are. It only takes a moment and it takes a little bit of sensitivity and love for nature. And you'll see how so many of your actions can change. I would request you to give this a few minutes. Take some quiet time. Think of actions and habits that you can change or you can cultivate that will be beneficial not just to you, not just to your area, your city, or your village, but also to the environment around you and to the people. When we meet in the next live session, let's discuss this. Let's brainstorm a little and let's see how our small actions can make a little bit of difference for the better. Thank you for listening and see you later.